Okay, yeah, so Instagram, this is gonna be like my last training for a year, pretty much. So this is what we're doing, is Instagram. Okay. This is what I'm gonna cover today. I wanna kind of start with, we're really gonna be focusing on Instagram as like creating a business account. So it's not going to be so much personal Instagram, but more about taking your personal Instagram and creating the business account side of it and doing some advertising, how to optimize your Instagram profile. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about Instagram stories as well as going live, because right now everyone's going live. I don't know if people are using Instagram, but I think a lot of people are bored, and Instagram live is just like all over the place now. And then we'll talk a little bit about tips, tricks, and best practices. So we're going to go through it. I'm going to do a few demos on my phone, so hopefully I will be able to stream from my phone, and you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Please remember, do as I say, not as I do. So when you do see my own Instagram account, just don't judge. It's fine. If anyone's got any questions, you can use the chat box. You can also turn your mic on, but I find when too many people are talking, it gets a little crazy. So just use the chat, and I'll try and like keep an eye on it, so we'll be able to answer any questions. So I'm gonna get started. So first thing, before you create an Instagram business account, you're going to need a Facebook account, or you're gonna need a Facebook business account. So I'm really hoping that most people at this time have one. And actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to share my phone. So hold on 1 second. And see if this works. There, can you all see my phone now? Hopefully. Okay. All right, so this is the company Instagram. So first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create our personal account into a business account. So I'm actually going to go to my own personal one right now, just because that way I'll have the option. And you're going to want to click on the little hamburger button in the corner. And then you're going to want to go down into your settings. So once we're in our settings, we're going to see that it says switch to professional account. And then it's going to ask if I want to have a business or a creator. So I'm going to create a business. And then it's really just going to be following the plot, following what Instagram tells us. So it's going to tell me what options. The main option, or like the main reason for creating a business account, is because you'll be able to access a ton of analytics, as well as be able to actually do a paid post. So you'll be able to boost your post the same way you can on Facebook. Oh, hold on. Okay, so I'm just going to press continue, continue, continue. Okay, and then it's going to ask me to do my business service. So you can actually, it'll give you a bunch of suggested ones. If I scroll down here, and I can say like real estate. Yeah, so it'll actually give me the option to do like real estate company, real estate developer, real estate agent. So for you guys, you can do real estate agent. And then you just press next. And then it's going to ask you to verify your information. So you'll be wanting to put your business phone number as well as your business address. And I'm just going to kind of skip through it and press next. And now it's going to be at the point where it's going to ask you to connect to your Facebook page. The reason why you have to connect to a Facebook page is because Facebook owns Instagram, and a lot of like the paid advertising will end up going through Facebook as well. I don't know if anyone's tried to advertise on Facebook, but it does give you the option to also advertise on Instagram. So they're kind of like tied together that way. So it does make sense for you to be able to connect it. I'm actually just going to kind of go back now and call it a day, because I don't want to actually create a business account, but that's pretty much the last step. And you can see up here, oh, can I like, 1 second? you can see up here how like there's only one more step left. That's like the final step. But I'm not going to do it because I don't actually want to create a business account. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Pretty self-explanatory. You know, you just go settings and then create your business account. That's pretty much it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is we're going to want to go to edit profile. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can make our profile and optimize it so it's looking as good as it can look. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to just press the edit profile button. So you're going to have the option to create a little bio, which is right here. Can you see where it says bio? So a few tips with your bio: keep it short and sweet. No one reads that much online. And we use a lot of like emojis, hashtags, stuff like that in your bio. It's a good idea to have little emojis because literally people have been dumbed down enough that they need to see pictures now. So use emojis in your bio, it's cool. The other thing is you're going to want to enter your website. Now, I actually don't have the company website here. I have the most recent blog. Oh, that's not the most recent. But I have one of our market reports up there. And I think that's the market forecast. The reason why I do this is I actually go in and I regularly change what link is showing up in the website. So that when I do a post or I do a story, let's say our most recent market report is out, I say, oh, check out the link in the bio. So sometimes you might see that with companies saying, oh, check out the link in your bio. And then when you have that, people can go and then that's where they'll find it. Because if you're not doing a paid advertisement, there's no way to put a link underneath like your image. So that's pretty much the only way to direct people to your site. The other thing I should point out is, does everyone know what like shortened links or shortened URLs like bit.ly is? It's just a way if you have like a really long URL, something like this, you can shorten it, but I recommend you don't use this for Instagram. The reason being is when people click on a link, they want to know where they're going. And Instagram does allow you to put like this URL could be as long as you want. So shortening it is just kind of making people feel like they're not sure what they're going to get when they click it. So it's best to just have, yes, we do have the URL shortener through Remax, but it still kind of disguises where you're going to go. So this is really great to use a URL shortener on Twitter when you're limited characters or Facebook, but don't use it for Instagram because you don't really need to have it shortened, and this way people know exactly where they're going when they click that link. And you're also going to want to make sure that you have your contact options. So under public business information, obviously it's going to have your Facebook page, your category, and then I'm going to go to contact options. So please make sure that you update this and everything is accurate. That way, if people are on Instagram on a phone, they can call you directly from here. And you can just sync it up with your Facebook page for it's the same information. Yeah. And then you would just have like your company address and everything. So just make sure that that contact information is up to date as well. And that's pretty much it, I think, for profile in terms of like getting yourself all set up. So a few things too. I wonder if I can go back to my other screens. Okay, so let's look at some competitors. So I'm going to stop sharing now, and then I'm going to share my other screen. Let's see if this works. Okay. Okay, I think I'm doing okay switching back and forth. Can everyone see like the, can everyone see that I've switched the screens again? The new share screen is there. So yes, thank you, Irma. Okay, so this is a few samples in our industry. So we can see like this is what Remax Integra is doing and how their profile looks. Just to give you some ideas of what they've put in their profile. Now they have all these little stories that I'm going to go into later about how we can pin those, but they all seem to have a general theme and they've made little icons with them. So I'm going to show you how to do that later when we get into stories. We can see Remax Ultimate, they're using little icons too. Just breaks down their bio a little bit. And then the same thing, they have little icons breaking down their stories because they've pinned some of their stories there. Then we have condos.ca, which we all love to hate. But the same thing, they've kept their bio very, very short. The same thing, they're using little icons, they're making it fun, and it's just gonna draw the eye, because otherwise you just get this mound of text and it looks a lot, I don't know, people don't read. I don't know what to tell you, people just don't read. So emojis are best. Okay, moving on. So a few of the things for content, because everyone always asks, what do I post on Instagram? So you want to, I think this is content ideas for, oh, well, anyways, this to get you thinking. Sorry, this has been a long time since I visited these slides. And list all of the benefits and products and services. So just kind of get an idea of what it is you're actually doing. We're just going to start by breaking it down from the very beginning. You also want to think of like when people are most happy when using your services. And then kind of like how would you be able to capture those special moments. So this is more of like a way to get brainstorming in terms of like what content you'll be posting. What I find always helps is I imagine that one person is like my perfect client. Like who would I want to work with over and over and over again? So I just imagine that person, and then all my content will be geared towards that one person. Me being a narcissist, it's always me. I would love to just work with me over and over again, so I'll just post what I like. But ideally, like your client is going to be your general demographic, so you're going to want to have content catered to them. So for like your first-time buyer will probably be what, like a young couple, early 30s. You're going to have like the range of the amount of money they make. So at this point in Toronto, that's going to be over like 100 grand combined income. And you're going to kind of think about, okay, so what type of content is that person looking for? And then you're going to start posting geared towards them. So maybe they're looking for information on the market. Maybe they're looking for stuff to kind of like ease them into making their first big purchase. Or maybe you mean to deal with sellers, older clients looking to downsize. Maybe they're not necessarily on Instagram, but you'll start to have content geared towards them. Renovation stuff, architecture stuff, or even be, you know, it always says there, like I have a little note where it says, be unique, creative, and personal. That's easy to say, but hard to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you what to post because no one actually wants to brainstorm. So listings, you can post your listings. It's not hard to just post your listings on Instagram. One that we do a lot is stats and market updates. So we just post a lot of graphs, basic stats, like Treb Market Watch always does it. I always send out those graphs for you guys to use, so you're welcome to use those. They're always like branded with Remax. Open houses are really good to have, especially in your stories, and especially now you'll be doing virtual open houses, so I'll show you how to do that in your stories. Toronto neighborhoods. So I know a lot with farming and discovering your niche, you'll want to kind of bring yourself as the realtor for that area or that condo building. So really focus on content for your little niche area. Shops in your local area, restaurants, which we all miss dearly. Any, like if you're in a building or a condo building updates is really helpful. I know there's always like news and stuff going on in buildings. Neighborhood spotlights, especially for first-time buyers who aren't really sure about the neighborhood they're looking into. I know we're all very, very familiar with like Toronto neighborhoods, but there's people who don't know where they want to live and they just say Toronto and it's just a big, it's huge. Pre-construction updates and access. If you do know anything about this, this is really good information to have because I know sellers are always on the lookout. Motivational quotes. I hate motivational quotes. I absolutely hate them. But there is a certain demographic that loves motivational quotes. I don't like that person, but if that is your primary client, go for it. And yeah, neighborhood finds, restaurants, shops, foods. Just a quick little note, people in your photographs work better and they'll get 90% more traction than photos without. Okay, yeah, that percentage is not true. I feel like it's true, but you will actually get more engagement as the photo if there's someone in there. So even if you're taking a photo of your most recent listing, try and get yourself in there. Or maybe if you do sell a place, get your clients in front of the unit or in the unit by a sign. You always see those, but pictures with people in them tend to be better. The other thing in terms of posting is you're going to want to develop a schedule, and it's going to increase your user engagement, especially if you're going live, which we'll talk about shortly. That way people kind of know to expect it, and if you're on a schedule, you're more likely to post. If you have a goal set for yourself to say, okay, I'm going to post once a day or once every other day, at least then you can kind of hold yourself accountable. And then you can plan ahead of time. So I have like a list of a few things too. So, and actually one that's not on here is Planily. Can I put in a note? I'm just going to put it in the chat right now. I think it's planily.com. That one I really like to use, especially if you're only going to be scheduling Instagram, because it allows you to schedule ahead of time and see what your feed looks like. I'll kind of show you that at the end. Also, Hootsuite allows you to schedule. Schedugram, Preview, there's a few links down here. If you're scheduling your Instagram ahead of time, a lot of times you can at least get your like regular posts up, and then you don't have to think about it as much, and it makes your job a little bit easier. And then you can kind of use hashtags that are specific of the day of the week. Like Throwback Thursday is a really easy one to do, even though like if you actually use hashtag Throwback Thursday, it doesn't do anything anymore. Tuesday tips, Monday morning, but it just kind of helps keep you on a schedule. Okay, let's talk about hashtags, because I'm talking about hashtags and I'm hoping everyone knows what they are. But just in case, hashtags have, hold on, where's my little pointer? Okay, there. Hashtags can be anything you want. Most of the time when you start typing a hashtag, it's going to give you examples and suggestions. So you're going to talk, and you're going to always have the hashtags underneath your comments. So a little bit about your comments. You want to make your comments and your captions personal. Give them that personal feel and human touch. And you're going to want to ask a question. Give people a reason to comment. So it's very easy to kind of just write, oh, here I am outside in the daylight. I don't know. But if you're asking the question, or like a question, people have a reason to comment, and a lot of other businesses especially are looking to comment on posts. So this gets your engagement, and the more people engage with your posts, the more likely people are to see it. So definitely asking a question. So every time you're writing a comment or every time you're adding your little caption, try and think of a question you can add. And a lot of times it can just be an opinion question. What do you think? Would you use this color? That sort of thing. Use emojis and hashtags. Same thing, people love emojis. They don't read big chunks of text. So if you're adding little emojis to break it up, it makes it seem less scary. It's like reading a picture book to a child. That's really what we're doing. Okay, so do your research. So you can actually follow certain hashtags, and I'll show you when I'm doing the demo too, and see what hashtags your competitors use. So like I know for our company account, I actually do follow Toronto Real Estate, Toronto Life, Real Estate Marketing, stuff like that. And that way I can see what other realtors are posting, and then I can kind of like on their stuff as well. And yeah, if you begin typing a hashtag, Instagram will start populating suggestions. So if you're not really sure, and you can make up your own hashtags too. There's a good chance someone's already used it at one point, but there's really no limit about what that can be. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, how do you memorize all these hashtags? I don't know who asked me that, but someone did. I'm like, you don't. You just make them up. So Instagram allows up to 30 hashtags, which is a lot. I've heard that 11 is the magic number. This changes all the time. So originally, my teenage sister told me that if you have more than 3, you're looking desperate. That's what she told me. So teenage Haley said, you're desperate if you use more than 3, but you're a business. So apparently 11 is the magic number. If you have more, it tends to look a little spammy. Honestly, just put in whatever you think. The more hashtags you have, the more likely people are going to be able to find you. But, you know, just don't go overboard because you don't want to look desperate, according to my teenage sister. And the other thing that I would recommend is putting them a few lines down. So in this one, we can see that most of the time when Instagram is displaying, it has like your little caption and then it has this little more button. And if you put the more button, you kind of want to hide your hashtag under that more. So what you're going to do is you're going to do these little dots, or you can just skip a few lines. And that way, when you have your little caption, people don't actually see the hashtag, and it just makes it look a lot clearer and a lot nicer. Because then you can kind of hide your desperation to be seen underneath, like so. And see, this person used lovely little emojis, beautiful home, and they added someone. So that's another thing you're going to want to tag people in photos, but I'll talk about that in a second. And there, it looks so much nicer. And then, yeah, you can see all the hashtags. Okay, so advertising. Oh, can you skip lines on Instagram? Okay, yes, you can skip lines on Instagram. Like you said, so if you're doing it directly on a phone, sorry, Nicole is asking if you can skip lines on Instagram. You weren't able to do it before. So she always copies and pastes her captions and notes. So she writes the caption in her note on her phone and then copies and pastes, which is a great idea. I use a scheduling tool. So I actually use Planoly or Hootsuite, which allows me to do as many lines as I want. So I can actually skip lines. But Nicole, that's a great idea when you're doing it on your phone, because as of right now, I don't think Instagram ever allowed you to do that. So using a scheduling tool allows you to do that, or what you're doing is pretty much the only option. And if you are using notes or something to type your caption beforehand, it allows you to proofread, so that's great. Okay, so advertising. Once we've posted something on Instagram, and this is an old slide, so I think, Marta, you might recognize this photo, because I think this is one of yours. So, yeah, I think that one is one of yours that we had shared.
Oh, yeah, it is.
A long time ago, yeah. Okay, so once you've created a business account, you're going to be able to you're going to get this little promote button. And I'm going to switch, actually, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share on my phone again. So hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. So if I pull up an existing post, so if I already posted this a few days ago, we're going to see that we have this little promote button. So I'm like, okay, the listing's doing all right, but I want to promote it just to get a little bit more views. And it's going to ask you, first of all, where do you want to send people? So when people click on this post now, where do I want them to go? So I can send them to my Instagram profile, my website, or my direct messages, so my DMs in Instagram. I find that in terms of social media advertising, I always do my website because I want more people to land on our company website. I do this for 2 reasons. Number one is once they've landed on our website, I can start remarketing to them, and then our ads, our Remax Condos Plus ads, will follow them around for the rest of their life. And I like that. I like being creepy like that. The other thing with our website, I have so many lead capture tools set up on our site. They're more likely to give me their email address. So those are my 2 goals. Number one, I want to get their email address and want them to fill out a form on my site. And number 2, is I want to be able to remarket to them so that eventually they'll come back to my website. So I always choose website. And it's going to use the website in your bio. So just make sure that you've updated the website link, because right now mine is going to be the market forecast. So this will probably be good if, let's say, I'm trying to boost the market report on Instagram. But just double check to make sure that link is where you actually want people to go. And that maybe you do have an actual lead capture tool there. If you don't have a site that you find converts well, just do your profiles, do your DMs. DMs are a lot more personal, so people can message you directly. And that's actually probably better for a realtor, because then you're actually having a one-on-one conversation and you're skipping all these other buttons. Like if anyone were to DM our company account personally, I can't help them much, right? Like I'd be like, oh yeah, I know everything about this listing, but I don't. So for me, it works to do the website. For you guys, direct message or your profile might be better. So then I'm gonna just press the top arrow here and go next. Now it's going to ask me to create an audience. So an automatic audience is going to be based on people who already follow your account, or you can also have the option to create an audience. So I can create an audience name. So I'm just going to say test one. Whoop. All right, I was just going to call it test because it's not letting me press one. And then I can choose a location. So one of the things is I can type in Toronto, or I can type in an address. Or what I can do is I can do local. And if I scroll down here, it's going to go based on my current location. And I can just like, oh, sorry. There we go. Can I use my slider, or it's not going to let me? There we go. So I can get as close to me as possible. So like I can do within 2 miles of where I live, and that way I'm just making my radius really small. I'm assuming most people aren't going to be doing a lot of advertising with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and most people's marketing budgets are fairly small. So you want to get a very specific audience, and you want it, this number at top. See, if I go really high, I can target like 2 million people. But if I go very specific and small, this means, oh wow, it's really, I could do like within a mile of my house, or I'm a mile of that address. So depending on what I'm actually advertising, this might be good in terms of like having a very, very local niche area. So I'm gonna say, okay, that area is what I want. I'm gonna just wanna send this to my neighbors. And finally, I can target it even more by adding interest. So I'm going to just click on this area to type, so I can type in real estate and see what pops up. And Instagram's going to give me some suggestions. So maybe I'll do luxury real estate or real estate investing. So now that targets my audience very, very small again. So if I'm only spending like $5 a day and I don't have much of a marketing budget, at least I know now that the people I'm advertising to are actually going to care about what they're getting, which is going to be better. That way I'm not sending an ad to a whole bunch of people. Some might be interested, some not. At least this way I'm showing it to people who actually want to see my ad. And finally, age and gender. I don't want to promote a listing to a couple of 16-year-olds. Yeah, we'll do. Apparently the cap is only 65. That seems odd. And then I can choose whether it's male or female. I'll do both. Okay. So once I've gotten my audience all set, I can just press the little check mark in the top. And then I'm ready to go to the next step. And I'm going to click on the little arrow again. So now is the time I can choose my budget. And you can go as little or as much as you want. So I can spend, and it's going to kind of give me an idea of how much money I'm going to be spending over 6 days and how many people will probably see my ad. So it's going to give me a very good idea. Like if I want to spend $40 a day, I'll spend a total of $240 within the week, and I can get about 16,000 to 42. The reason that's not, oh, Herma says, guess people over 65 are not expected to use Instagram. Yeah, I feel like that's just very ageist. Anyone can use. My grandmother's on Instagram, and she's like 90. But that's how she sees pictures of her grandkids and posts photos of her baking. So anyone can use Instagram. Anyway, so recommended budget, if you're just starting out, $5 a day for like a listing and you're running it for a week, that gives you about 3,000 to 8,000 people might see your ad. That's not too bad. Or you can always just have it run for like 2 days and kind of like up your budget so that you're just spending like $40 over 2 days. Like you can kind of play around with it, but it's cheap. It's not that expensive. So you might as well do it once in a while. So finally, you're going to get to the point where you're going to preview it. You're going to see where it's going, your audience, your budget, and it's going to ask you for your payment options. Pay attention, everyone. Those are the last 4 digits of Jamie's Visa card. When you're ready, you just press the little create promotion button. But I'm not actually going to promote this post. So I'm going to kind of just go back. Does anyone have any questions in terms of advertising right now? Okay. Is that ad show up in the highlights? No. So the ad isn't something that's, I think, what you mean by highlights, like these guys here? No, not necessarily. Your ad's going to show up in people's feed. So I wonder if I can see an example. Like, I'm sure everyone's been, oh, Pamela, your breakfast looks so lovely. I'll like it. Hold on. There we go. There we go.
I just promoted that breakfast. While you were talking, I did a promotion, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm just trying to find an example of a paid post. Okay, so this is an example, I think, isn't it? No.
Do they say sponsored?
Yeah, they should say sponsored. Oh, here. Okay. Sorry, all my ads are baby related right now. That's what your ad will look like. It'll say sponsored, and then you have like this little button, and that's going to take me. Can you link this to Facebook? Yes. Yeah, so you can have it linked to your Facebook page too. And one of the things too is or vice versa. So if you were to create an ad on Facebook, you also have the option to send it on Instagram. So when we're advertising on Instagram, most of the time, I'm creating that ad on Facebook and then sending it to Instagram. It's only been in the past year that you can actually do paid advertising directly onto Instagram. Oh, look at the coops. But this is, and actually I would prefer, if you're gonna do some serious advertising, put it on Facebook first and then send it to Instagram. This way, doing it directly on the app is just kind of a quick way to promote your post, but you have a lot more control, especially with audience, if you're doing it on Facebook, because their platform's a little bit more intense. Yeah, and the ad will just continually show up in people's feeds until it's spent all your money. So it's just going to randomly show up like any other post. And you can do story ads as well. So if you've ever gone through your, oh my God. Okay. If you've ever gone through like your stories, sometimes you'll start to kind of see like the ad stories. Those you'll have to create in Facebook. And then you'll have to send them through. So one of the next things I wanted to show you guys is if I go in here, you have this insights button. And this insights button is going to be your best friend. So you'll be able to see your recent posts, and unlike like a personal account, sorry, and one more question from Nicole. And the cost is only for impressions, not clicks. Yes, so you're only paying for impressions. Once again, if you're creating the ad in Facebook, you have the option to pay for clicks instead, and that's going to choose how it displays your ad a little differently. But you're paying for impressions, you're not paying for clicks. So the reason being is in Instagram, people are less likely to click your ad, and it's more about it just being seen. Yeah, can I use, hold on. Okay, there. Hopefully that works. The only problem with my annotation is I can only do it once in a while. Okay. So to go to your, let me practice here for a second. So to go to your, oh, can I clear that? Yeah. So you're going to want to click your hamburger button, and then you're going to want to click your insights. Can you guys see that okay? Does that work? Okay. And then one of the things you're going to want to be able to do is you can now view how many people view your posts. You can choose your activity. Now, I haven't posted anything on our company account for a long time, but it'll be able to tell you what your reach is per day. And you can also check your audience growth and how many followers you're getting. So this is really handy thing that you get for businesses. And one of the other things that I really like under audience, so if you click on this here, the audience, and you scroll down, this is kind of a really good idea to see who's actually following you. So I can see most of the people are in Toronto, which is good. I can see my general age range, which kind of falls in line with your buyers, first-time buyers. I can see how many people are men and women. So we're pretty about half and half. And down here, at the bottom here, anyways, at the bottom here, we'll be able to scroll through and I can see what time of day is most active for my followers. So this is going to give me an idea of the best time to post in the day, and everyone's going to be a little bit different. So I know there's a lot of how-to videos and stuff that are always like, make sure you post at this time every day. That's going to be different depending on who you are, your demographic, like people who are following you. So check and see who those people actually are and what time they're actually following you. And I can see which days people are most active. So I know that most people are on like a Tuesday. Not by much, it doesn't really make much of a difference. And I can also see like, it looks like around 12 to 3 o'clock seems to be a good time to post. So I'm gonna wanna post just before 3 o'clock so that I'm at the top of the queue before I get buried. So that's kind of like my ideal time slot. Yours might be different. So yeah. The next thing I wanna talk to you a little bit about is Instagram stories. So Instagram stories show up here. Oh my God, that guy. Where did my little annotation button go? So these are your Instagram stories. And an Instagram story looks like this. And it's just people's photos, and you can click on it and it's gonna take me through. And then I can swipe and it's going, oh, there's an ad of an Instagram story. And I can kind of start seeing like videos of everybody. Instagram stories only last for about 24 hours. Okay, I'm gonna go out because you get the idea. So stories only last for 24 hours. After 24 hours, they disappear. And then to post a story, what you're gonna do is you can click on this little picture here, and it's going to take you to your story feed. We can see that my keyboard is very different or very dirty. Or you can also swipe. So I'm just using my finger to kind of swipe, right? And that's going to take me to where I can do my story, like so. So what I'm going to go, sorry, I'm just going to go back. So I'm going to kind of post a story right now. So I can take a photo. So let's just take a photo of my screen. Did you? Good.
Yes.
So if I take a photo, it's going to look like that. You can also, and then you can use like stickers and buttons and all sorts of things. So up here, can you guys still see my phone right now? Yeah. So I have a little sticker, and this is going to give me little options to put all over the place. So I can put in my location and I can put in where I am. And that's going to be a sticker I can add anywhere. I can also add text. So by the way, hold on. These are the ones I'm kind of looking at. I can add text, so I can say something, and I can type whatever I want. I can make it bigger, smaller. The other thing with stickers is you can have like, you know, pretty little stickers. The ones I do recommend you to use @mentions. So I can start typing in, so I can @Pamela Simmons. So now if I've added somebody in my story, they're going to get notified. So if you can do lots of @, then people are more aware of your story. Okay, I'm just going to exit that right now. So sorry, you're going to have to just see this weird view of what I see. The other thing down here, you have options to do like a boomerang. You can do a video by holding down the big white circle. So if I were to hold this down, it's going to start recording, and then that's going to post a video. I'm going to exit that though, because I don't want the video. Now, going live is going to be a little different. Oh, there's my slide. Can you see my slide? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to turn this off right now because I don't actually want to go live. So I'm going to share this screen. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, there's my actual slide. So going live is going to be similar to Instagram stories, but it's going to be live. It's an unedited stream, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's pretty much, it's just going to start filming. And the moment you start filming, everyone will be able to see it. The whole point of going live is to boost your discoverability. So the moment you do go live, all your followers are going to receive notification for when you go live, and your stream will actually go to the front of the Instagram stories feed. So more likely people are going to see a live feed as opposed to just a regular video. You'll also have the option for your audience to comment and ask questions live, so you'll be able to answer live. So that makes it a really good tool in terms of like live streaming and everything. So let me turn my pointer off. Because I don't actually want to go live right now, we are going to watch this old man tell you how to do it. And so I'm going to play a video.
No sound, Jackie. No sound.
Oh, sorry, hold on. How do I make sure he has sound?
It may come off your headset, so you may have to unplug.
Oh, yeah, hold on one second. Let me try this. Okay, does this work? Can you hear him now, Pamela?
No, not yet.
Okay, hold on a second. No, I was going to rely on him to talk.
Did you try unplugging your headset to see, or wherever
yeah,
your
hold
mic
on,
is?
I'm trying now. I just want to make sure that I'm, hold on. Let's see. Sorry. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I guess it's not going to work with the volume because I have the headphones on and my actual speakers don't work.
Do you want to share the link out in the chat and then we can
Yeah.
watch it on our own?
No, I can't.
It's probably muted.
No, it's not muted.
Yeah.
It's definitely not muted. You can
No?
talk.
Oh, this is, oh, I see it's
I paid for it.
a LinkedIn training.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
So unless you have an account, you wouldn't be able to. all he's really talking about is how to do it. And he uses a nice little sample and he kind of walks you through it, which I guess we can do too, but I can try and record. I don't know, maybe I'll have to figure out how to record him or not. I'm not sure. So we'll just go back to the slides. Sorry.
Why don't you
It was
just
a good
send the
video.
link? Why don't you just send the link to everyone?
I can't send the link because it's a LinkedIn Learning video, so you need to have an account to view it.
Account with LinkedIn? I guess
No,
everyone
you
would
have
have
to
an
have a paid an account, so it's behind a wall. Like you have to pay like $30 a month to have access to the video, which I don't want that anyone to have to do. So.
Can't you do it in the brokerage website? No.
No, it's the same thing. Like it only plays right now because I'm signed into my account. That's all.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if anybody has that has an account with them, but if they do, you could maybe still share the link.
Yeah,
and
that's
for anybody who does, then they could see it.
Yeah. So once I'm stopped sharing, I'll try and share the link, and hopefully that works.
Thank you.
Hopefully it will work. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's okay. I can show you on my phone. I just didn't really want to go live at this time, just because, you know, it wouldn't have been a very interesting live thing. So I'll really quickly try and show you what I can on my phone then. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay, back in Instagram. So I'm going to go to my story. So a few things. If you notice on the top here, right here, these are all the followers right now that are active. So if I were to go live right now, these people are going to start seeing, they'll be able to be notified instantly that something's going on. Then we also have this, gears button up here. Before you go live, you always want to check your little gears and check what your settings are. So I want to make sure that everyone can message me. I can make it so it's just people I follow, but because I want more people to see it, I can make it as everyone. And then afterwards, I want to make sure that I have the save to archive on, or save to gallery too, because I want to be able to save my live video so that afterwards I can reshare it, and then I can put it on my feed, upload it to IGTV, or I can pin it to my bar, which I'll show you guys how to do in a second. You can also turn your sharing on and off. Always good to allow resharing, especially if you want your reach to go really far. And you can share your story to Facebook as well. So Facebook also has live sharing. So if you were to do this, it'll also post on Facebook too. So once you kind of set it up and you're ready to go, all you would do to go live is just press the big button here at the bottom. You just press this button here, big red button. Well, it's not really, you know, red, but you also have here, this is where your questions are going to come up. So if anyone's commenting on your story as you go live, you'll be able to click this little button to kind of see what those are. And you can also use these guys, but we're not going to get into that too much. But it's pretty much the other thing that I wanted to talk to about, and I don't really want to go live right now, but I also don't know how to show you without going live. So I'm going to have to just kind of explain it. Once you do start going live, you'll have the end button. Your end button is going to show up just in the top corner. And you're going to get two options to opt out. So at first, it's going to be like, you're going to press end, and then you're going to get a pop-up that's going to say, are you sure you want to end? And you'll just say yes.
In order to eat intuitively, it's so important to have some structure and routine. So,
Pamela, do you have your sound? Does someone have their sound on right now?
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. So anyways, when you're ending a video, you want to make sure that you don't say, okay, bye, and then press the end button and then you have a few awkward seconds of you just being like, okay, hold on, where's my end button? So you press the end, then you can say your goodbyes, and then you press your end again. And I can see Pamela posted something. So pretty much going live, press your button, choose your live option, and then you press your live button. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I'm going to go back to my slides because there's a few things I wanted to show you in terms of how to promote a live feed. Because going live isn't the hard part. What's going to happen is how to promote it so people actually watch your live feed. So I'm going to go back to screen share. Is everyone okay with me switching back and forth? I feel like I'm just like constantly going back, but hopefully it's okay. Okay, so a few tips for going live. The first thing you're going to want to do is promote it a lot. It's one thing to just be able to be like, okay, go live and hope that people see it, but you kind of want to have a hype going before you start doing a live stream. So you can promote it in your Facebook stories. You can promote it in your feed. One of the things in your stories that you have the option is to add a countdown button. Where's my little pointer? Yeah, little countdown button here. So you can say, stay tuned for a special announcement, stay tuned for a live video walkthrough, and you can have it count down to the minutes and seconds. So if you are going to doing a live virtual walkthrough, start promoting it ahead of time. And that way people can kind of get an idea that you are going to be doing something and it's not going to come out of nowhere. And people have a lot of time to kind of prepare and make sure that they're tuned in. And also when I check your insights to see what time your audience is actually most active. So like I showed you before, I know the Remax Condos Plus's audience is most active at 3 o'clock. So I'm going to try and aim my virtual tour for 3 o'clock when most people are going to be on their phones. The other places, so you can promote it on Facebook as well. All you're really doing is just going to be live on Instagram and give it time. And do it a few days before or even a day before. You don't really need to give that much advance notice, but you do want to tell people what time you'll be there. The other thing with going live is you don't have to be very quick and short. So if you do go live, maybe kind of ad-lib for a couple of minutes just to give people a chance to tune in, so to speak, because people aren't going to be there at exactly like 3 o'clock. You'll want to kind of talk before you really start getting into the meat of what you want to do. In terms of filming, if you're shooting yourself, you're going to want to shoot at eye level or above. So make sure that you're holding your phone not upside down and just kind of go a little bit so that you look the best. I know a lot of people will kind of go below, and this just gives awful chin stuff. The other thing is you want people to feel like they are looking at you. So you want to look on the lens of your camera and not at yourself. Like right now, I'm talking into my camera on my desk, on my laptop, and I'm looking into not the lens, but I'm looking at myself, which is really hard not to. And I think most people do that. So you'll have to try and get into the habit of looking at the lens, and then that kind of has a more personal connection. The other thing, if you're going live, you're going to want to have a clear plan and kind of know where you're going to begin with. So if you are doing a virtual tour, be like, okay, these are the points I want to talk about in return of the house. These are the rooms I'm going to kind of go through. And play around with, am I going to have myself in there and walk backwards? Or am I going to kind of just have the camera shooting away? If you are going to be doing a virtual tour, do I have this on my next slide? No. Choose which way you want to go in terms of landscape or vertical at the very beginning. Don't switch halfway. Most of the time with Instagram, you're always going to want to shoot vertical. If you're using a different platform, you can do horizontal, but start that way. Don't switch halfway. The moment you switch halfway, then you're going to have people kind of having to tilt their heads to look at it, and you don't want that. There is an example I can show you that my uncle did, which is a really bad video where he started vertical and then he was like, right, people like horizontal videos, switched it, and then it just made the whole thing worse.
Landscape, yeah.
Yeah, landscape, sorry. Oh, and I'm missing out on the chat. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading your note, Pamela. You saw a tenant doing a health and wellness workshop on Instagram Live. Great. That's awesome. Okay. Right, so I'm going to move on to my next slide here. Oh, I have a few examples of stickers, but I guess we'll get to that later. I think that's pretty much it in terms of filming. You can use a mic if you really want to. It's probably best to use those tiny little headphones because they have a little mic built in if you're going from your phone. And that way you don't get a lot of the background noise. Especially if you're filming outside, there's a lot going on. Having those little earbuds are kind of subtle. These, obviously, the ones that I'm wearing, my giant headphones, are not that subtle, but I don't have the little guys. Those are kind of a good thing to have. Yeah, that's pretty much all the tips I have in terms of going live, is just make sure you promote it ahead of time. I'm going to go through the rest of my slides here because I can't remember what's on there. Oh.
Becky, how did you get that counter thing again on the prior slide?
It's a sticker.
Yeah, how did you get that? Was that a sticker?
Yeah, it's just a sticker. Go to stickers on your Instagram,
okay.
and then you should have that option to go. It's just one of these. It's like one of your location ones. You also have poll stickers too, which are really nice.
I've used the poll stickers. Those are cool.
The poll stickers are good. So this is a few examples of what to post for stories. These are not necessarily going live, but pretty much use your stories as a testing zone to see what works. So one of the nice things about stories is because they do disappear if they turn out awful. Oh, yeah, sorry, Marty's asking me to show you how to actually do the sticker. So I'm gonna, hold on, stop sharing and show you on my phone. So I'm gonna share my phone. Okay, so if I'm gonna go into a story, all right, I'm just gonna take my picture. I'm gonna click on, where's my little annotate button here? So I'm gonna click on the sticker button up here. Whoops. And I should be able to find the countdown in here. You can type. There we go. I can just start typing down countdown. And I can say what my countdown's for. Virtual tour. And I can choose the end date. So I can choose that it'll be, what day is it today? The 21st? So I'm gonna say it'll be April 22nd, so I can do it for tomorrow. And I can turn it all day, and I can do a time. So I would probably, like I said, 3 o'clock is my goal. At 3 o'clock. There. And now I can say virtual tour starting in 1 day, 3 hours, and 30 minutes. And that's how I do my virtual tour sticker. And then I can do the send to button. Oh, when you are doing your send to button, you do have the option to do your story. So you would want to share by pressing your story. So you'd want to do this one. You can also do close friends. So I can choose to have it only show to my close friends, which right now is just Pamela because it's a company account. I don't have many. Remax Condos Plus doesn't have too many close friends at the moment. But that's what that is. And in the chat, do we have any more? Oh, okay. How do we incorporate music features into stories? I don't know, actually. I wonder if that's a sticker as well. I've seen someone do that, and I felt it was very annoying, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. Does anyone actually know how to do the music? Unless you do an attachment? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Sorry. Sorry, Margie, I don't know how to, or sorry, Brianna, I don't know how to incorporate music in. But Nicole does. She says it's a sticker. So it's got to be somewhere there. I haven't used too many stickers before, so it'll be up there somewhere. But they're like countdowns. You can do the ask a question thing, which is really nice. I've seen a lot of people do where it's just like, they just play a question and answer thing when they're bored, which works. That works too. Okay. I'm going to turn off my screen share and share the slides again. Okay. Yeah. Just going to go to the next slide here. Okay, so a few examples of what other people have done with their stories is they've used stickers to ask like, which one, like one or the other. Sorry, Margie is asking if the ask a question is a sticker too. Yes, ask a question is a sticker as well. All these little things are stickers that you can add, and then you can kind of play with it. So explore what stickers they have, because there's a lot. But ask a question is a really good one, especially if you're going to go live, or you can have it so that people can ask a question and then you can go back later and just answer them all as part of your story. I've had a few, I know like a few people will do it and they'll just spend all day answering questions. I've even seen like, my friend was bored one day and stuck at home with her 4-year-old, so she just asked her 4-year-old questions. It was very entertaining. Okay, so story highlights. So let's say you do have a lot of good stories. You'll want to start highlighting them in your profile like so. So we saw that Remax Condos Plus has a few story highlights, and a lot of people will have story highlights showing up on their profile page. And I highly recommend you do this with a business profile. So once you have a few stories to work with, you can use the highlights to categorize aspects of your business and what people are interested in. So I think Remax Condos has, this is just Remax, but the ones Remax Condos has is, we have our market reports, we have community involvement, open houses, and realtor life. This might be different for you. You can do, yeah, this person did sellers, owners, fun, and buyers. A lot of people do behind the scenes, realtor life. I find open houses is a really good one, as well as stats. And I'm going to share, sorry, I have to keep going back and forth, and I'll show you how to share it. 1 second. And we're going to share my screen again. I feel like I'm doing really good at going back and forth. Okay. So yeah, we have market report, like community involvement. This is just an old story from when we did like the bike share or the bike ride thing. So I have that pinned. So even though most stories last for 24 hours, these ones you can save so that people can see forever. So how you would do it is you would press the new button here, and it's going to give you all the stories you've ever shown and taken. And so I'm just going to check off a bunch of them. I'm going to check off all the ones that have something to do with my market report. And then you press next. And I can do like have like my highlights. So I can choose what it's going to want to say. So I can say market report. And then it's going to allow me to edit my cover image. I highly recommend you do a custom image for your highlight image, and then hopefully it'll just save to your gallery. The reason why you want to edit the cover, I don't actually want this, is so that you'll have a little bit of consistency. So we can see like, I have all custom little cover headings for this so that it all looks the same and there's like a consistency there. And we saw with the samples that they kind of look nicer when it's just like pretty little cover photos. I know Pamela is a big advocate of Canva. Canva is a great place to maybe make these. All they have to do is be a perfectly square image. You can be able to crop it. And even just doing white text on like a solid background will look good. Anything's better than just like a random one. But I really recommend doing your story highlights because it does look nice, and then you can save certain things. I find that updating the open houses, this is old, we haven't been updating them because we haven't had them, but you can have all the open houses that weekend. Yeah, these are really old. But then let's say there are some open houses in the area, people can go there and view them. And then our market report information, yeah, we already have one. So then you can update all your stats all the time as well. So that's kind of a great use for all your story highlights. Yeah, so that's in terms of doing those. So I'm going to kind of exit my screen share again. Does anyone have any questions? I have a few more. I'm going to share my screen again because I have so many slides, guys. You're going to get so bored. Okay. So one of the other tips in terms of using Instagram is interacting with your community. And it's very easy to just say post stuff and you'll get followers, but that's not how you necessarily get followers. Your best thing is interacting with what other people post. So you don't want to just dump photos, you want to actually be able to engage with other people. So you're going to want to follow people and hashtags related to your industry. We can see down here, there's this little search button at the bottom of your Instagram. Click that search button and then you can search certain people and certain hashtags. So I recommend searching for like Toronto real estate or something and see what other people in the industry are doing. And you'll want to be able to follow and find new people. So the more people you follow, the more likely they'll follow you back. And you're going to want to comment on other people's posts as well. So it's not just enough to be able to post yourself. You want to be able to comment and engage with other people's stuff. And don't just do like a like. It can tend to look a little spam body. Make sure you actually comment and engage with other people's photos. The more you're commenting and engaging, the more likely that they'll comment and engage and boost your own posts. So I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And yeah, has anyone experienced bots on Instagram? I know sometimes we'll get bots commenting on ours where they just do like the little thumbs up emojis over and over again. So you'll want to use like the @ symbol and mention other users in your comments, and that way you can kind of engage that way. But engaging with other people's posts is probably the #1 way you're going to gain followers. So you're going to want to make yourself alive a little bit. I always say in terms of social media, like when you're creating an account, whether it's an Instagram, Facebook, essentially you can't just go to a new area, throw a party and expect everyone to just show up when they don't know you. So the best thing to do is go out there and go to other people's parties and join in on what they're posting and then become a part of the community that way. So that's my tip. Another tip is creating a unique style. So here's a few examples of what people have done with their feeds. So in terms of their Instagram feeds, having like similar colors, having a brand. Instagram feeds have become more curated lately, only because now we have Instagram stories. So a lot of people are posting their ugly content in their stories. You can still kind of keep up to date with what they're doing, but they use their feeds as more of, you know, a showcase. That's where their listings will go. And if you notice at Remax Condos Plus on our Instagram, we do have on our feed, we tend to stay with the Remax colors and we try and have some consistency that way. Because really it's more about when people land, they're going to go through your feed to kind of get an idea of who you are. So this is going to be heavily curated to make sure it looks nice and pretty. But those are a few examples of what I think. Yeah. So like you can do different photos. Like they've kind of definitely have a color coordination thing. A lot of times it's kind of planned so that it makes one giant image as well. Planily, I believe I put that link in the chat. Planily is one that allows you to do that. So hold on one second. Let me just exit my full screen and I can show you on Planily. Okay, so this is what the software that I use to schedule our Instagram. So this gives me an idea of what my Instagram looks like down here. And I can kind of schedule it out. If I go to unscheduled, I can add posts and drag and drop so that I can get an idea of what my feed is going to look like. So if I do want to plan my grid to look a certain way, this software is probably your best bet in terms of doing it that way. And then this allows me to post in advance as well, which is really handy. So I know I'm not going to be able to post all the time. At least I can have a few random ones scheduled so I don't forget about it. But that's, yeah, it's plainly.com. It's a free service if you're just using it for your own Instagram, and I find it works really good. But that's up to you. Okay, that's pretty much it. I do have a few stats just to kind of like make it fun in terms of what to post. So 36% of photos, photos generate 30% more engagement than videos. If you're going to do a video, it's best to stick with your stories, whereas photos in your feed are going to get more engagement than an actual video in your feed. Photos with faces get 38% more likes. Photos with blue as a dominant color get more likes than red, which is really weird. I like that one. I don't know why, but especially considering red is what stands out more. But if you do have blue as a dominant color, you're more likely to get more likes. 80% of users follow a business on Instagram. That's true. I don't know if that makes sense. And, oh, okay. So images with more white space get 29% more likes. Facebook or Instagram tends to be very busy. So if your photos are very clean and simple, it's actually going to break that feed process a little bit. As people are kind of scrolling through, they're going to kind of stop a little bit more because it's simple. And one color hue is better than multiple dominant colors. So monochromatic, you can use filters to kind of keep your photos monochromatic and keep your saturation low. So what you would think of as having something very intense and bright and stand out with like a lot of red and color is the opposite of what you want. You want it to have low saturation and you want your photos to kind of be monochromatic and boring, I guess, but you're going to get more likes that way. And that's the end of my slide. Irma's asking, is there any data as to the success ratio, say Facebook and or Instagram posts to sell a listing versus MLSrealtor.ca? Or are you aiming to get buyers by looking to get followers? Okay, that's a good question. In terms of people looking at your listing, MLS and Realtor.ca are obviously your #1 go-to. You're not probably going to be selling a property faster by posting it on Instagram. It is, however, going to make your seller happy if they start seeing ads for their listing everywhere. So what I find in terms of advertising a listing is more about making your seller think that you're doing a lot more, as well as promoting yourself. So Instagram isn't so much about promoting a listing, but promoting yourself as a realtor and having, an online presence, so to speak. And that's pretty much what it is. It's about you. It's not about your listings, but your listings are going to help promote yourself. When setting up an account, what do we do with choose action? It just shows buttons with companies like Booksy. Okay, so I think I have the slide up here. Like under select a category, is that what you're asking, Arlene?
So yeah, it's under settings, and it was like going through setting up your account, and then eventually I got to choose, let me see, choose action. And that means a button. Choose a button to.
Are you creating an account or are you creating a business account?
I was creating a business account. I already have an account, so now it's business. So I just bypassed that. So it's all created now. But yeah, I came to the button where it says choose action. Like if you, yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to go into mine. Let's see. So you went settings.
Mhm.
And you did switch to business account?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think I set myself up as a business account. So I can't get to where you could try doing a screen share if you want to show.
Yes, but I can't show it anymore because I've already gone past it and I can't go.
Oh,
So
you can't use the back button?
It was an old question that I didn't post because I thought we would get to it, and I didn't. I'm just realizing now that I can't go back to it. So sorry about that. I guess it's not important.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I could have
It was suggesting something like, on Facebook ads, you have a button where it says learn more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that would be your choose. Hold on. So that would be advertising?
Okay.
Were you trying to create an ad, like promoting an ad?
I don't know. It was just something that I was brought to as I was creating the account. So I wasn't creating an ad, but it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to say if I can't see.
Okay. No.
Arlene, was that about choosing the type of business you had?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Arlene. I can't answer your question. Does anyone else have any more questions? I'm going to stop my share now because I'm done. That's it. That's all I got, guys. Yes, I can share the slides for the presentation. I'll probably send them out along with the recording of the video. And is it hard to get people to engage or comment? Any good tips? It is. So in terms of getting people to engage, like I said, try and ask a question. Stories work, trying to do polls, getting people to ask you questions. I find the more people that you're engaging with, they're more likely to engage back. Others, yeah, that's always a tricky one because a lot of the time with their algorithm, your posting will show up right away, but if you're not getting a lot of engagement right away, you'll just get buried. So the other thing I recommend is tagging people in your photos. So I can share my phone screen again one more time. Hold on 1 second. Just give me a moment here. Go back into my Instagram. Okay, so if you were to do a new post, okay, so there's a bad photo. But if you are to do a new post and you go to next, you can choose your whatever. What you're going to want to do is you can tag people, and tagging other realtors, tagging other businesses. I'm just going to click and I can start tagging like, oh, there's Patrick. And then I can start tagging Pamela, and you can just start tagging a bunch of people, and then they're going to be notified when you post this. That's a way to kind of, I mean, it's an annoying way sometimes, but it's kind of a way to get people to kind of get engagement and at least see it initially to kind of get you going. So a lot of people, and I know a lot of people when they're posting stuff will tag Remax Condos Plus. So when you're tagging or when you're posting anything on Instagram, tag Remax Condos Plus, because you might as well put us in there and then we'll kind of try and like it right away and get you guys going up. So tag your brokerage, tag other realtors, tag your seller if it's a listing, tag people you think might be interested, and that will at least get some engagement right away. Also, adding a location really helps with engagement too, because if people are searching a specific building, and I think you can tag certain buildings, like what is it, ICE Condos maybe. Yeah, so if you were to do ICE Condos, there's people who are specifically looking in that building or looking in their area. That's going to kind of show up in their feed as well. So that's a good way to get engagement. I'm going to discard that graph. There we go. We got another new message here. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. But pretty much tagging people, adding locations, and adding your hashtags are the best way, because when people search, and I'm going to press this little search bar here. Sorry, it's like if you do the little search here, this is going to kind of allow you to explore other people's feeds and what other people are showing. And so I can always search for like a specific tag. So I can search real estate. And now I can see everyone who's hashtagged real estate in the last little bit and the most recent post for real estate. Or I can put in hashtag Toronto real estate. So this is how people are going to find you. Here, Toronto real estate news. So I can see everyone who's used the hashtag Toronto real estate news recently. So you kind of want to be able to, that's how people are going to find your content. So using certain hashtags like that. The other thing is if people are just kind of scanning this algorithm, what I'm seeing is based on going to be like my location, where I am, what I've recently liked. So using tags that tag people, stuff that you guys have liked that I'm friends with will show up here as well. Like my own personal feed does not have this much real estate stuff, but this is all real estate stuff based on what I follow. So yeah, play around with that. See what other people are doing. And what is IGTV good for? Okay, IGTV is good for longer videos. So if you're going to use IGTV, this would be videos that are like 5 to 30 minutes. If you have a very long live stream, you can then post it on IGTV. It was taking a long time to gain traction, but I noticed now it is a little bit. So if you are going to use, or if you do have a video that's longer, post it on IGTV, then do a teaser post in your feed or maybe a teaser post in your story. So a lot of times if you were to go into your feed, you would see, it would be like the first 10 seconds of the video, and if you want to continue watching, then you would go to IGTV. So I've used this for some of Jamie's videos when it first came out, and I noticed when it first came out, it wasn't working that great, but people have become a little bit more comfortable with it. So if you do have a video, post it on IGTV, put a teaser in your feed and see how it goes. But IGTV is good for longer videos, whereas anything in your feed or in your story does have a cutoff time. Yeah, I hope that answers the question for IGTV. But yeah, they just tend to be a little bit longer videos. So see what other people are doing too. Yeah, I think that's it. If people want to stick around and ask more questions, they can. I can keep up like my phone there, but I think that's it. Thanks for coming, guys. I'm probably going to stop my recording now. So now you can all talk and say anything. Oh, my last day. I'm pretty much going to be working until I give birth. So like May 28th, I guess, is when my last day is. Because if I'm working from home, I don't have to go anywhere and I can sit on that all day long and it's easy. So yeah, and I'm good to reach out by email or call. And this is where I hang out now, at home. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, everybody.